أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فيها فاكهة ونخل ذات الأكمام والهبة ذو العصف والريحان. They cooked the meal and the curry for the Persian sick. Ayat 11. In it are several fruits and palms carrying sheathed dates, 12, and plants of straw-covered grains, and of condiments or spices. The Quran contains the risk or food of grains, as they contain the risk of the seeded fruits and of the special fruits of palms that are protected from external attacks. We took the example of grapes for the fruits that cater to the mind, and the example of the dates for that cater to the intellect. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created numberless varieties of fruits, of wines, trees and palms with their spiritual counterparts. They are relished by the mu'min and the muttaqin through the bayan of the Quran, to the extent to which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills. These fruits are amsal, for examples for the iman and the taqwa, collected and consumed from those clear ayat called ayat muhkama. The grainy food is for the believer who surpasses taqwa. We have seen that grains are amsal for the ayat called ayat mutashabiha, which mysteriously conceal truth as the evasive seed in the grain. Here it seems that the fruit is that which is enveloped in husk, and seed is that which is devoid of it. The fruits are sown, and the seeds are eaten as against the fruits having distinct seeds. The farmer of grain cultivation is called a muhsin. The farming is synonymous to the transcendent state called ihsan. He, the muhsin, sows the seeds of grain in the fields of the qalb, between the plantations that yield vulnerable fruits like grapes and the plantations that yield protected fruits like dates. The grain farm is the spiritual crop of ihsan in the qalb, which has in its inner side the plantation of iman, and around the outer periphery the plantation of taqwa. The water of rahmah abundantly irrigates the low-lying field of ihsan, which is shared with the plantations on either side. that is of Iman and Taqwa. The Muslim thus keeps 3 plantations in good health, 3 spiritual plantations. There are many varieties of grains, some of which yield 10 times or many more folds. And perhaps the blessed may reap as much as 700 folds. The yields of grain are harvested by cutting these spikes covered with hay and collected by thrashing. The Muhsin is assisted by the Malaika by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the processes of harvest and collection of that dispensable special Iman called Ilm. His qalb overflows with that Ilm. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided from His generosity. He distributes the rizq or the ilm with a natural spontaneity to every one of the creations around. That is the Muhsin distributes. He perpetually farms the grain and eats from it. The Muhsin is enabled to eat, is decreed to eat pure food by cleaning and removing the husk. The cleaned grains are cooked in the qalb with a nur, using rahmah's water. The cooked food is assimilated to energize the spiritual being. The overpowering nur envelops the physical being that keeps itself submissive to its guidance. In that nur, the sadr, that is the mind, dissolves in the nerves, that is a spiritual being, as the clouds vanish into the sky or the moon falls into the sun. Now, as the sadr is one with the nerves gates. The intellect is enlightened to exhibit its full bloom of wisdom, and the external ear and the external eyes become one with the internal hearing and the internal vision. The senses function in their fitrah, keeping the natural ilm in the receptors. The Muhsin sees nur in every ayat of Allah. His life is on a pilgrimage now. The Muhsin is the tree that showers Allah's mercy, even to the axeman who cuts it. The nur he emits enlightens the surroundings. He emits lights of the surroundings. He lowers his shoulders even to the harming creepers. He gives shade and support to those spiritually below. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has provided in the earth the plants of right hand to the farmer of grain. These plants produce the condiments. That add flavor to a cooked meal. They might be of fruits, flowers, leaves, bark, stem, and roots. They could be made into curry dish. They are cultivated and used in small quantities. They are cultivated in the field of grains, amidst the grains. They are often dried, pounded, and ground into paste before added to the meal. It becomes the perfume emitted by the muhsin who is fed with the meal. His acts are pure and pleasing. The believer who receives the grains of ilm shared by the muhsin sows in the mind's field, that is between the emotional gardens and the philosophical plantations of thought. The crops yield acts as guidance in raising the plantations on either side of it. The Mu'min restrains himself from going into the material extremities of the art and literature and such of the science and technology. The clouds of mind are no more to act as barsakh or barrier or interface, preventing vision of the inner world within the open qalb. The nerve sees the starlit inner sky. The stars act as grains of nur that guides the navigator the most. They are the divine insights he is blessed to receive. On the right hand, the condiments or ayat that connect those insights, enabling to trace the route to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Mu'minun, وَالشَّجَرَةً تخرج من طور سيناء تنبت بالدخن والصبغ للآكلين. We have created a tree that comes up in the Sinai mountains. It produces oil and curry for those who eat. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about a tree grown in Sinai mountains that produces fruits of Ar-Rayhan. In Surah At-Tin, He subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us which tree is this. At-Tin was-Saytun wa-Tur Sinin. By the fig and the olive, by the mountain of Sinai. The above three ayat in surahs, Al-Mu'minun and At-Tin, function as the Ar-Rayhan, the curry that adds flavor to the meal. They are the connecting lines that connect the dots representing the stars and the navigator's map, enabling him to trace the route from the 6th station to the 7th, the ultimate. But for the disbeliever, the Quran seems as a disjointed jumble. Inshallah, we will try to have a look at that navigator's route